Let's get into the Michigan football defensive grades versus Maryland. The Wolverines a 38-7 victors over Maryland Terrapins. Homecoming for Maryland, but not the one maybe they had hoped for facing the Wolverines. Mike Loxley, after jumping out, scoring 70 points here, 79 points, 60 points plus in their first couple games. They are on a big slide, and now they fall to 3-6 on the year due to the Maryland Terrapins under first-year head coach Mike Loxley. Let's take a look at the Michigan football defense against the Terps. A defense that shut out Maryland, gave up a little over 200 yards, and I thought played really, really well throughout the day. So the defensive line, I am giving these bad boys an A. You're gonna see one of these if you ever watch the Oprah, which she gives away gifts. You get a car, you get a car, you get an A, you get an A. I'm giving away a lot of A's here on the defense. Some really outstanding performance today from the Michigan defense and Don Brown. I told you on Thursday, Michigan really wants to defend Josh Gash's honor, shut this Maryland offense out, and they did shut them out. No points for the Maryland offense. Only 7 points coming on special teams for the Terps. So I want to know from you guys, how impressed are you with Michigan's defense versus Maryland today? Scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to go with a 9, right? I mean, it's not, you didn't have like an all-time performance to get a 10, like 90 yards of offense or 94, whatever it was that Michigan State had against the Wolverines last year. But give me your grades. Scale of 1 to 10 for this Michigan defense. I'm going to 9. I'm going to 9. I'm not going to have a rookie score of a 9. 9.2. That's my grade. So if you have any decimal points, you are encouraged to put them on screen as you vote, watching here live on YouTube and on the Michigan Wolverines by Chat Sports Facebook page. Do you have any stats for the defenders, Dylan, on the today? No stats. Keep it going. Okay, cool. Let's go to the linebackers next. Linebackers played well today. Josh Uche, big time game. Khaleke Hudson, big time game. A+ for the Michigan linebackers today. Like everything I saw out of this group. It's even funny about the linebackers today is you've got guys who as we take a look at Josh Uche's stats with 2 sacks in the day, 3 tackles, but you've got people who want to say Jordan Glasgow shouldn't be on the field, but a lot of folks are saying Josh Ross was on the field. He's coming back. He's going to be the man today. You're going to even maybe see Cam McGrone get less playing time, but not the case. But Glasgow continues to be at the very top of Michigan's stat leaders in nearly every game. So you see Uche with 3 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Take a look at all the linebackers today. They all got action. Khaleke Hudson, 8 tackles and half a sack. Jordan Glasgow, 8 tackles. 5 of those solo tackles. Josh Uche, 3 tackles, 2 tackles for losses, and 2 sacks. With Khaleke Hudson in micro mode over there at that size, that size, that font deal. And then Cam McGrone, 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Not as great of a game from McGrone as we've come to expect from him over the past 5 or 6 games, where he's been maybe Michigan's best defensive player. I think him, Khaleke Hudson, have been Michigan's most consistent defensive players throughout this entire season. Josh Uche has had spurts of the highest of highs, but not necessarily as consistent as those other guys. And a lot of people say Jordan Glasgow is being one of Michigan's most consistent players this entire 2019 season on the defensive side of the ball. Action Network is where I get all my insights and analysis. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen how good I've done. I'm betting on college football. I can tell you it's only like 10% of my brain, 90% of what the Action Network tells me to do. I look for games that have the public bettors going one way and the pro bettors going the other way. I see a big gap there. I know that the pros know something that the public doesn't. I'm putting my money over here. I'll only be able to do that if the Action Network tells me. Michigan's covered 5 of their last 6 games after, I think, Michigan went 6 or 7 games the end of last year into this year, not covering. And then now they've covered 5 of the last 6. So Jim Harbaugh's team is outperforming what the sports books are predicting. You know that with the Action Network. Chatsports.com/deal is how you get 40% off. It's usually $10 a month service, which, come on, guys, that's like not even one bet. So it's really cheap. Now you get it for $5.99. You get it even cheaper. So go ahead and get started with the Action Network, $5.99 a month, 40% off. Take a look at the secondary for the Wolverines. In Michigan football secondary, giving them an A. And if we get a chance, take a look at the whole Maryland stats. That'd be a good talking point as we kind of wrap up our grades on the D. In addition to any secondary stats we have. Got producer Dylan behind the camera. We are live following Michigan's 38-7 victory over Maryland. Got our grades on the defense. We just showed you the grades on the offense, so if you're watching this later in the week, make sure you go back and check out the channel, check out our offense and our coaching staff grades following the game. But take a look at Maryland's stats here. Dylan, they don't call him the best in the biz for nothing. He gets those stats up just as the doctor ordered. 7 points for Maryland on offense, 7 points, for the day. They didn't come on offense, so that's why I'm giving Don Brown, I gave him an A. I'm giving a lot of A's to the defensive players here. 233 yards of offense, 104 yards passing, and 129 yards rushing. A stat you like to see, only 4 third down conversions out of 16 for Michigan's defense that gave up against the Michael Locksley Maryland offense. All right, Josh Jackson, the Maryland quarterback who's been hurt for the past few weeks. Got in a little bit against Minnesota, but not a ton. And we all remember him, Fred Jackson, Michigan's long time running backs coach, who was the offensive coordinator for a small stint in the 90s. This is his son, went to Virginia Tech, transferred to Maryland, and is now the starting quarterback. He's been hurt for a few weeks. He got in, like I said, a couple snaps there, but 9 of 20 against his daddy's Wolverines. From Ann Arbor, went to high school in Ann Arbor, 97 passing yards for the day, 1 interception, which was not his fault, by the way. Tipped, or he's crushed, and his offensive lineman didn't chop block on the day. So you get through the 1 interception. Josh Metellus picked it off, and that was the day for Josh Jackson. Let's take a look at the Maryland rushing leaders. You got McFarland Jr., remember him last year, tearing up Ohio State, 14 carries for 60 yards. Lance Legrenda, I can't remember how they pronounce his name, but 7 carries, 39 yards. And then Leak, 9 carries, 38 yards. So a decent, 3-headed rushing attack for Maryland, but nothing too special. Josh Metellus, though, did have a pretty special day in the secondary. An interception, 9 tackles, 8 of them solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss on the day for Josh Metellus, and 1 interception as our Michigan football grades. Josh Metellus, one of the standouts, certainly in the secondary with that 1 interception. We can go over the grades one more time, Dylan, if you want, in reveal format to give the people what they're asking for. Josh Metellus could be maybe our player of the game. I'm not sure what you guys think. Certainly, if you have any comments for who the player of the game when the Michigan defense was, go ahead and answer those or claim those in the comment section or on our live chat if you're watching with us live right now. But let's go over the grades one more time for the Michigan football defense. Then we'll go to some more live Q&A. Defensive line, I'm giving an A on the day. Really liked what I saw out of those guys. Aidan Hutchinson, Michael Dana. You saw some Mozzie Smith in there at the end of the game. Good to see him finally getting some playing time. Chris Hinton saw in there a little bit as well. Linebackers, A+. A+ for the Michigan linebackers. Khaleke Hudson had one of his better games of the season. Maybe, one of his better games. I just saw a lot of Khaleke Hudson. He had some good stuff going on in 2017. Kind of fell off the statistical radar that we thought he might be at in 2018. But he's been one of Michigan's leading tacklers every single game this year. So an A+ for the linebackers. In the secondary, Josh Metellus with that interception. Not a lot going on through the air for Maryland on the day. I'm giving the secondary an A. One thing to note in the secondary, I did see Dax Hill lined up in cornerback. Not just slot cornerback, the outside cornerback, a lot more today. Several plays more today than I think I've noticed him in the recent few games. So Dax Hill rotating a little bit more in there. He's just a blur out there. He is everywhere they put him in, special teams, defense. But I did see him lining up outside at cornerback quite a few times, certainly more than I've noticed in recent weeks. So an A for the secondary. Want to know from you guys, grade that defense. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade Michigan's defense on the day. I'm just giving him an A across the board. Don Brown got an A. D-line got an A. Linebackers got an A+. And the secondary got an A. So how can you not give the defense an A when they throw a shutout against the Maryland offense, give up 233 yards, nothing really going. Other than a few runs from Maryland, Michigan pretty much controlled the day. It was a bend but don't break defense. Once Maryland got inside the 20, they really couldn't do anything when they did get there. Missed the field goal. Wasn't much going on for Maryland. All right, let's make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Really appreciate you watching. If you've never watched the show before, the Michigan Football Report YouTube channel has videos almost every day. I think we missed 4 days where we haven't had videos this whole football season. So in the last 63 days since the football season started, you have 59 videos here from the Michigan Football Report, put out the most content and probably the best content, if Dylan's vote counts for anything, of any channel on YouTube. So youtube.com/Michigan TV. It's available in podcast form, so go search for Michigan Football Report in podcast. And every show is linked on my Twitter and the Michigan Wolverines by Chat Sports Facebook page. So hit that big red subscribe button. And then, if you guys haven't yet, type Go Blue to celebrate the win. But that is the question there. We're going to toss that one up. Dylan, put that as a comment. We'll start the next segment. Type Go Blue to celebrate the win. Type it, Go Blue, celebrate Michigan's win over Maryland. We're going to do some Q&A. I think the producers, the fat cats, Dylan, in the back of the room, they give us a thumbs up. We're going to take more of your questions here. Michigan's 38-7 victory over Maryland, the 9th game of the year, on the road against the Terps in College Park, Maryland, while there's a championship celebration going on in town. The Nationals World Series victory parade happening at the exact same time as this game, but nevertheless, Michigan fans brought it there in College Park.